The historic El Camino del Diablo crosses vast stretches of the Sonoran Desert, surrounded by military bases, Indian land, and the border with Mexico. There are over 400 species of plants and 275 species of animals that call this place home. This 1.2 million acres in southern Arizona is the subject in this episode of About the Journey. Well, good morning, everybody. Today we are camped on the BLM land just outside of Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument down here in southern Arizona. And we're going to be heading into the National Monument for a little bit this morning, but we're going to spend a couple of days in the Cabeza Prieta National Wildlife Refuge, which is adjacent to the National Monument. Then we will go through the National Monument and take a good look at that too. This should be a pretty fun trip. I've wanted to come down to these areas for a long time, and I was really happy to get down here. Today is New Year's Eve, and the temperature is going to be in the mid-70s. It's been nice, it's sunny and warm, and today should be a really nice day to go and explore these two huge areas of our public lands. So we're at the boundary of the Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument. This kind of gives you a fee schedule. A lot of national monuments do not charge, but this particular one does. We have a America the Beautiful pass, so we'll be able to get in, and you'll just need to display that on your dashboard. And this one just talks about be safe out here. And this is a map. You can see we are right here, and we're going to be taking, this is called Bates Well Road, and we're going to take this all the way over here. If you look on the map, this also is called the El Camino del Diablo Road, and that's chiefly the one we're going to be going out into the wildlife refuge and then back on in a couple of days. And then we're going to take this road here, which will take us all the way down to the highway, or to the paved section of road that goes to the park, and we'll probably do a loop through there and then head back up to Phoenix on Friday. And right here, this just talks about the road. This is going to be a historic area. There is an old ranch out here we're going to stop and check out. But it should be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it. And we've got some pretty nice scenery around here. This mountain up here is called Scarface Mountain. And a lot of these areas over here are, up to this point, it's all just BLM land. And I don't know if you can see that converted school bus back there, but there are a lot of areas to camp in between where the Bates Well Road starts and where the National Monument starts. So yeah, come and check it out. It's really nice. Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument is a U.S. National Monument and a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve located in extreme southern Arizona and shares a border with the Mexican state of Sonora. The park is the only place in the United States where the Cenida and Organ Pipe cactus grow wild. This is the parking area for Bates Well. This is one of the old windmills that looks like it used to pull water out of the ground. Yeah, we're going to walk over and check out some of these old cabins here. This looks like a pretty nice place if you had water, which evidently these guys did. Well, you'll come up here and you'll see this little sign. I'm going to read it to you. It says, "The Ranching Years, 4 Decades of Controversy." Henry Gray, he was the last private owner of Bates Well and the last of the ranchers in the monument. Usually ranching is prohibited on lands administered by the National Park Service, but this place was an exception. The Gray family had ranched throughout the monument area for 17 years before Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument was established in 1937. They were allowed to continue partly because this country was their home and ranching their livelihood, even though their ranching operations conflicted with NPS policies and caused many problems such as erosion and vegetation trampling. Henry survived the rest of his ranching family and was still running cattle on the monument until he died in 1976, thus ending a long-standing and unresolved conflict of objectives. the Gray family goal to continue ranching on the land they considered home versus the National Park Service's objective of conservation and protection of natural resources. Today, the cows are gone and the Henry's house is empty, and the land is beginning to slowly recover to its natural balance. There's another building back here, and it looks like there's another windmill and a few other things. Looks like an old galvanized steel water tank. And here's a slab of concrete, a little box. Looks like an actual wellhead. Probably had a well sunk in here years later with more modern equipment. Really nice cactus around here. Here's the other couple of buildings here, and the other windmill, or I should say wind pump. I would say this place has seen better days. Looks like they are trying hard to keep it from collapsing. Let's go walk over here and check this place out. The Green Door. Oh, looks like something has been building a nest in there. Ooh, be careful of rusty nails if you're walking around here. Yep, some critter's been at work here. There's another water tank. And a lot of this stuff looks like it was probably working as long ago as the 70s. We'll go check out this corral. Looks like some big concrete basins to fill with water. I would imagine it was a pretty nice and solitary lifestyle out here. It's really quiet. I like seeing when nature comes in and reclaims everything. It's always a really nice contrast. Well, looks like there's another building over here. Let's go check that out. Now, when you're out here, you're going to see these signs, which are pretty weathered and crackled, but basically it's reminding you that this is the corridor that often is used by illegal immigrations. So if you see somebody out here, they want you to contact the authorities. I'm sure we will run into some border security guys the farther south we get. We're going to be driving right along the wall with Mexico, probably tomorrow or the next day. Let's go check out this building. So this one looks like they have worked on re-siding it and restoring it. It'll be interesting to come back here in a few years and see what they have done with these, because it looks like they're working on trying to restore some of this. Let's go take a look inside here. This looks like a lot of new construction in here. So I guess when you needed a fence, you would use anything you could find. I'm actually surprised they were able to find this much wood out here. Must have been a lot of these trees that they had to cut for all that. Well, we're going to head back to the truck and head on down the road and see some more of the National Monument. The Cabeza Prieta National Wildlife Refuge is the third largest national wildlife refuge in the lower 48, coming in at 860,000 acres. And when combined with the adjacent Oregon Pipe Cactus National Monument's 330,000 acres, this number becomes almost 1.2 million acres of protected habitat, and all of it is located within the Yuma Desert, which is a lower elevation section of the Sonoran Desert. Author Edward Abbey, who was a frequent visitor, described the refuge as the best desert wilderness left in the United States, and according to his Wikipedia page, is reputedly buried there where, in quotes, you'll never find it. So we're coming up on a building that I saw on Google Earth. It's right next to the boundary between the wildlife refuge and the National Monument, and I suspect all this has to do with border security, but we'll see shortly. All right, so we got to this point right here. This is the boundary of Oregon Pipe Cactus National Monument, and this is where the wildlife refuge starts. Now, this is also a border patrol station, so you're going to run into some of the border patrol here. They have a building set up over here that they work out of. So here we are at the boundary of the Cabeza Prieta National Wildlife Refuge. When you get over here, you're going to see this sign here. Just talks about where we are and shows the roads in here. And it talks about the Sonoran pronghorn, which we're going to keep an eye out for if we see any here. And there's also a trail register, and we're going to register here. The Oregon Pipe Cactus National Monument was established in 1937, and the refuge was established in 1939 to protect desert bighorn sheep. They are home to more than 275 different species of animals, including the endangered Sonoran pronghorn and nearly 400 species of plants. Well, we pulled off, and we're going to walk up on this little knoll and take a look at the surrounding country. There is no trail up here, so you're just going to have to kind of find your way. But it does appear people have stopped here and walked around. There are definitely some really nice vistas up here. We just drove across this long, flat valley. The high mountains over there are all in Oregon Pipe Cactus National Monument. And I can see a little bit of the border station, or the border control station out there. But yeah, we've dropped into this big, low, open valley. And we've got these mountains here. We're going to drive up into a place called Cholla Pass. I'm sure that's going to have a bunch of cholla cactus. And then we're going to kind of loop around these mountains, and there's an old mining area. I think that is where we are going to camp tonight. Now, there are only 3 public use roads in the refuge: El Camino del Diablo, Christmas Pass Road, and Charlie Bell Road. All of these are unpaved, and they are frequently very difficult to travel because of deep mud, sand, sharp rocks, vegetation, and other obstacles, and only a 4-wheel drive, high-clearance vehicles are recommended. There are no facilities on the refuge, including gasoline, sanitation, or potable water. And since this refuge is close to military bases and the border, you will need to obtain a free recreation permit from the Barry M. Goldwater Range permitting site. Your America the Beautiful Pass isn't valid for the wildlife refuge. I'll put the link in the description below the video. Well, good morning, everybody. So we found this place last night to camp. This is just off of the main road here. I'll put the coordinates to get to this campsite if you want to come out here and check it out. It was really nice and scenic. We had a really nice sunset and sunrise. We were looking out towards the west here. Strangely enough, there was pretty good cell service out here. Across this next valley we're going into is the border, and there is a highway over there in Mexico, and there's a cell tower there. So you're able to get pretty good internet out here, surprisingly. But we got everything packed up, and we are going to head on down the road today and go check out a few more other things. So we'll see you guys in a little bit. Pulled off here a little bit past a place called Camp Grip. There's a place called O'Neill's Grave, and we decided to stop and check it out. And it looks like people have put coins and stones and bullets, a cigarette, heart-shaped rock. Wow, it actually looks like a loonie there. Now, as you saw, we drove past it and backed up because this place is easy to miss if you're not looking for it. But come and check it out. All right, so we made it up into this lava field, and we're going to camp right there tonight. And you can see as we pan around here, we've got quite a few of these old volcanic cones around us, including this one right behind us, which we are going to walk up and check out. We've got this really big one in the distance, and we have another one over there. And I forget what these mountains up here are called, but that is also within the wildlife refuge. And it is, of course, on the other side of that valley. We're going to walk along this little road here. As I was looking at Google Earth, it looks like it goes up to this other cinder cone here. But we're pretty close to the border here, so we do not want to trigger a visit from the Border Patrol. We only saw one of them once as we were coming in yesterday, and we haven't seen any cars or anything. There's a road that actually runs along the fence down here, and I think most of them stay out there and off of the bumpier, dusty dirt road that we came into this area on. All right, so we're going to hike up here a little bit, and we're going to go up to this volcanic butte over here, and hopefully we will get up there in time to catch the sunset. Should be pretty nice. It's one of the highest points around here that we can get to. This area is the northernmost section of the Pinacate Peaks, which are a group of volcanic peaks and cinder cones located mostly in the Mexican state of Sonora along the international border adjacent to the U.S. state of Arizona, and is surrounded by the vast sand dune field of the Gran Desierto de Altar. The volcanoes here have erupted sporadically since about 4 million years ago, with the most recent volcanic activity occurring about 11,000 years ago. The Quitobaquito Desert is also home to the largest sand dunes in the Americas. Yeah, so this thing is pretty unstable and kind of talus-y. So if you decide to tackle this from here, be careful. We made it up here. I would not recommend going the way that I did. That last part was kind of a scary exposed scramble, and you don't want to do it. There is, looks like an easier way to come up here inside the caldera itself, and that's the way I'm going to be going down, because this side is really steep. So looking in this direction looks out into the National Wildlife Refuge. You can see on the right there, that long dark line is the border with Mexico, and the big mountains in the distance are in the middle of the Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument. This place is almost 700,000 acres of public land, and if you combine it with the National Monument next door, it ends up coming up to over 1 million acres of your public lands here in southern Arizona. Absolutely spectacular place. I would highly recommend it. Well, since the way that I came up was kind of exposed, it is not going to be really feasible, or I don't want to try down climbing it. So we're going to walk along the rim here and drop down inside of this cinder cone and walk around and meet up with Isabel and the dogs in a few. This is kind of a little tricky coming down here. That's the little area I had to climb down. That was a little bit hairy, but that got me down here. And of course, I'm going to hook around to the right here and head back to camp. It is getting pretty dark, and the GoPro is not going to record anything very well anymore. So, but we're down off of the top there, and I can see the car out over by that butte. So we're just going to cross country over there and get back in time for dinner. We got everything loaded up in the truck, and we're going to head back down the road the way we came yesterday. So this wildlife refuge is bordered by Mexico on the south side. It is bordered by I think it's the Yuma Proving Grounds. It's a military base on the west side and the north. The other section of the north is taken up by the Barry M. Goldwater Air Force base up there. And then the eastern side of it is bordered by the Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument. So any of the roads that come out into this area are out and back. There's no loops to do. So we are going to go back on the road that we came out here on and go into the National Monument. Then we're going to pick up another road that's going to take us through the western side of the monument and the south side. And we're going to show all of you guys some of that stuff. All right, so we made it out of the wildlife refuge and we are turning down the only backcountry road that goes into Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument. And when you get to this junction, there'll be this sign behind me and a couple other signs just kind of reminding you to avoid suspicious groups and watch out for illegal immigration, since these are along the border and they can be smuggling corridors. As we look over here, we're right in this section and we're going to take this road all the way down here where it will meet with the paved road. This is a loop that you can take through the center part of the monument. So we're going to get down here and we will cruise on over here to the highway and then north. So we've got the remnants of an old homestead here that we're going to go and check out. Like a lot of these areas in this part of Arizona, there was a lot of ranching that went on here at some point. And so they had to develop water sources, which is what this is. And it looks like this is an old well shaft here. And they have more concrete tubs here. These are kind of like the ones we saw at the other ranch that we stopped at a couple days ago. Now, a lot of these pumps were driven by the wind. And here we have the tower. But it looks like the actual blades from it have long since fallen off. We are down here at Quitobaquito, and this is a spring over here we're going to go and check out. Now, this, of course, behind us is the border wall. We're right along the Mexican border here within the Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument. And that is Mexico's freeway number 2 that runs along the northern edge of the country. Basically goes from Mexicali over to, I forget the name of the little town down here. So we're going to go check out this spring. Wow, look at this water. I did not expect to find this down here. We're going to take a walk around this. This is really nice. I did not expect to find a big pool of turquoise water way out here in the desert. Oh, and this one's got fish in it. There's all these little tiny fish swimming around in here. And I'm sure it supports frogs and maybe even some salamanders. It's definitely a place for a lot of things to come and drink. Oh, look at all these fish in this little stream here. So it looks like this pond back here is artificially created. The actual spring itself appears to be coming from out here. We're going to explore this and find out. They've got picnic tables back here. Yeah, it looks like they come back here and do some maintenance every now and then. Clear out any debris and silt. All right, this looks like where a well is. And we've got this. Well, this appears to be where the natural part of the channel starts. And it looks like they have a well over here. And they've got this right here to, I'm guessing, funnel all the water into the trough here. Some of the cholla we've been seeing down here are pretty impressive. I've seen these growing in certain areas where they're growing, they're like small trees. These things are like 6 feet high. Well, we are going to head back to the truck and we're going to head up the road a ways. Well, that's quite a wall they have here. What is that, 30 feet? Pretty tall. So this is an old corral here. I think we're going to walk in here and check it out. This is just down from where we camped. There's the old-fashioned pump that was turned by the wind. Go see if there's any water in this tank. Nope, does not look like it. It does look like there's water in this tank. Yep, definitely water. And it says danger, venomous snakes. I would guess they probably come here to drink. Yep, definitely water in there. Yeah, lots of neat stuff to explore out here. Oh, looks like these guys have a modern well put in. Concrete, pipes, solar panel. I guess they still run cattle out here. I don't see a whole lot of grass though. I don't know what they eat. I'll make sure I put the coordinates to this area in the description below the video so you'll know how to get out here. But this is a great place to come and camp. There is a lot of dispersed camping in the area, lots of nice sites, and lots of cool cactus and different kinds of plant life that you're only going to find here in the Sonoran Desert. This has been a really nice place out here. This is the deepest into Arizona that I have ventured yet, and it is really cool. I sure see what a lot of people like about it. The temperatures the last couple of days have been in the upper 70s and the low 80s. which has been really nice. But today, unfortunately, we have to start our journey back up north to a cold and wintry northern Utah. Well, I hope that everybody enjoyed this adventure. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to see more videos about hiking and camping on our public lands, consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't already, and you can join us next time for another adventure. We'll see you then.